Hey, ladies. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. It's your girl Cherie in the building and on the camera today. So, I want to say hello to everybody. Don't forget to hit the like button as you all are coming in. If you're listening to the replay, please put replay in the comments so that way the algorithms can bless us. If you're listening live, put live in the chat. So that way, again, the algorithms can know that you are into this content. We are going to have a lot of news stories today, so kind of buckle up. Um, we are going to have some uh, deeper topics, and we're also going to have some fun topics as well, because y'all know I like to sprinkle in a little bit of fun for you. But before I do that, blackwomenmakingmoney.com. If you want to get on our email list, you want to go to bwmakingmoney.com, bwmakingmoney.com. On Sunday at 6 p.m., we are going to have our first live inner circle, you know, uh, event. And that is going to be a really cool documentary I found around the psychology of money. So if you want to attend that, you can. It's totally free. I don't charge to be on my email list. I don't want to do a Patreon. I don't want to do YouTube memberships or anything like that. But I want to show copyright sensitive information, and that's where we're going to do it. So if you want to be invited on Sunday, you got to go to bwmakingmoney.com. And another announcement, I want you to put in the chat Rich Girl Summer. Rich Girl Summer. If you're watching the replay, put in Rich Girl Summer. If you are listening live and you want to be a rich girl, put in Rich Girl Summer, because that is the theme that we are going with on this channel. Rich Girl Summer. I want you to be in that zone. Everything that we're going to talk about is going to be around you being a rich girl, getting your money together, getting your credit together, getting those skills together, all of that. So Rich Girl Summer, that is our theme. We have Becoming Boss C in the building. We got Computer and Coin saying hello to everybody. Selfish Love, finishing up those taxes in the building. Under the Hood with Dr. Sunshine saying you are live, love it. And you're saying Rich Girl Summer. Yes, that is our theme. Alonzo is saying salute. Rich Girl Summer is the theme, ladies, the theme. Yes. All right. And Zakia is here as well. I think you're new. I haven't seen you before, so welcome. Make sure, everybody, you like the video as you are coming in. Okay. Let us talk about all sorts of stuff that is happening in this darn economy right now, because there's so much going on. You're asking, can I ask two finance and business questions? You can ask them, but I got a ton of content to go through today, so I'm not going to guarantee that I'll get to them. But if I can, then I will. Then I will try. All right. Let us talk about the IRS. The IRS is planning to hire as many accountants and attorneys as it takes to crack down on rich people that are not paying the taxes they owe. This came out a couple of days ago. I don't believe this BS at all. What's going to happen is, well, first of all, they're claiming that they are hiring these accountants in order to look at highly specialized taxes, right? More complex taxes because the rich aren't paying their fair share. But guess what's going to happen eventually? This is Cherie's crystal ball of what's going to happen. And that is that the rich, or they're going to look at a couple of rich people's taxes, and the rest of it will be the stuff for middle class people. So, um, Yeah, that is what I'm saying here. But if you want a job at the IRS is hiring a lot of people. So let's take a look at this article here talking about what they are doing. They released their strategic plan for using Biden's $80 billion investment in the agency. So the agency is getting $80 billion. It plans to dedicate a chunk of spending to stricter enforcement for higher earners. Higher earners are people typically have businesses and things like that, so we get a lot of deductions. It also included improved customer service and hiring more agents to help taxpayers. So, D'Ambrosia's saying they're getting frantic because of Trump. That's a possibility. You don't have to hire, just go to family offices. Yeah, well, so Tam, that depends on how much people are making. Absolutely. But the people at the family offices are, they are very good at what they do. They definitely keep up with the tax code. So I don't think this is going to be a problem for the rich people. So that mess is going to trickle down to the middle class. But if you are interested in reading the IRS's strategic operating plan, ladies, you want to go to businessinsider.com. This is actually government information here. And they have this strategic operating plan here. And I'm actually going to open it up for you here as well, because I actually took a look at it as well. So this was a press release from the Treasury Department. IRS released plan to deliver improved service for Americans. And you can open up the PDF with the strategic operating plan. If you want to make money from taxes, from helping people avoid taxes, or you all know what I told you to do, but potentially do if you want to do this. Go get you one of these jobs, work in the IRS for 5 years, and then leave the IRS, hang up your shingle, and say, I used to work for the IRS and I can help you with your audits and your things like that. So, this is going to be super big business. This money came in due to the Inflation Reduction Act. The IRS is already delivering significantly improved customer service this filing season. That's according to what they say. The strategic operating plan shows how the IRS will continue this transformation by providing world class service, upgrading decades old technology. So, all of my IT people, they're going to be hiring you as well, and reducing the tax gap by ensuring high earners play by the same rules as the working and the middle class. So, this is what they're saying here that they're going to be doing. The strategic operating plan details 5 objectives to achieve the goal of providing world class service and reducing the deficit by hundreds of billions of dollars. So, ladies, they told you what they're trying to do. The US is broke. The United States of America is absolutely broke. So they're trying to get more money and they are going to invest in the IRS in order to catch people with cash apps that they aren't reporting, Venmo, Zelle, all of this stuff we've been doing as business owners and hustles and things like that. They're going to be putting an end to that, right? PayPal money, etc. So they're saying here they're going to dramatically improve services to help taxpayers meet their obligations and help taxpayers pay more, right? Meet their obligations, and receive the tax incentives for which they are eligible. Quickly resolve taxpayer issues when they arise. Focus expanded enforcement on taxpayers with complex tax filings. So this is for the rich, and high dollar non-compliance to address the tax gap. Deliver cutting edge technology, data, and analytics to operate more effectively, attract, retain, and empower a highly skilled, diverse workforce, and develop a culture that is better equipped to deliver results for taxpayers. The plan also complies with Secretary Yellen's directive that IRA resources will not be used to raise audit rates for small businesses and households making less than $400,000 a year. So, again, this is what they're saying. I don't believe them, but That's what they're saying. That's the official word right now. They're going to start with the rich people, but I think it's going to trickle down. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. I'm back. I was hot in this office. So, your Alonzo is saying my wife works for the IRS. Yeah, look, there's some good people that work for the IRS. I don't have a problem with the people. People, I just don't believe yelling. They are 10 million or more and more. Uh-oh, hi, yellow. Yeah, while people are saying diverse. Now, I do believe they will have diversity. The one good thing about the government is that they actually do have great diversity, in my opinion. So, but some IRS agents actually carry pew pew pew, to protect themselves if they're going out to audit people and things like that. So it's pretty interesting. How do you even file taxes for Cash App and Zelle? Oh, so what the government has done is they've gone to these companies, Cash App, Zelle, um, PayPal, Coinbase, where you all are getting your crypto, and they're requiring these companies to tell them all of your transactions for the year. That's how they're doing it. Get rid of PayPal and Venmo. I don't think they're getting rid of them. I haven't heard they're getting rid of them. They're reporting. They're reporting. So, um, okay. So that is the IRS story of the day. The second main story that came out earlier today is that um, inflation is coming down. It is coming down. So, according to Business Insider, the Fed is winning its war on inflation, and it means America could avoid a painful recession. So, everybody that I'm listening to agrees that America is still going to go into recession. The odds are very high, but will the Fed continue to raise rates? People don't know, but it's probably likely that they are going to. But inflation is coming down. So let's just read a little bit of what is happening over at the Fed. The Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, plunged to, it didn't plunge, it just went to 5% year over year in March. So before it was I think last month it was at 6.1%, and now it's at 5%. Yeah, okay. So it's a slowdown from February 6.0% reading, and it shows the Fed's war on inflation is working. So remember, we had on this channel, we talked about the fact that the Fed is mandated to get inflation back down to 2%, even if that means that unemployment is going to go up. So we had that conversation, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago or so, where we said that the Fed is prepared for unemployment to go to 10%, which means in the Black community, it's double. So buckle up and get ready, right? They're saying here because the plan seems to be working that, it looks like it may be a bit more of a softer landing. I'm here to tell you, do not let your foot off the gas. Whatever you have been doing to, solidify your place at your company or get your business started, et cetera, stay on it because I don't trust these people at all. If you trust them, great. I'm just telling you, Cherie don't trust them at all. So this thing is also saying while there's still uncertainty from SVP's collapse, that's Silicon Valley Bank, Americans can likely avoid a recession in 2023. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. So um, you're saying you're not touching Fed now? That's the digital currency, right? I think that's what you're talking about. We'll have another discussion on that. I need to do more research on that in order to feel comfortable. I've looked at it just kind of in passing, but I haven't done enough research. I'm a Bitcoin girl, so, but that is not financial advice. You know what? Actually, let me put my banner up here. Not financial, not financial advice. Let me throw my banner up here really quickly. Um, the recession that hasn't happened yet. Wow. Yeah, look, you said a word. You said a word there. Um, rolling up my Popeye sleeves to stay hyper focused on my hair growth business. Good for you, D'Ambrosia. Good for you. Look, you better stay hyper focused on that. So, anyway, so that is what happened with Jerome. over at the Fed, inflation is coming down. Let me see if they say in this article, because I didn't get to read all of these articles like I usually do, when the next meeting is. So uh, I want to say the next, uh, wanted to say the next meeting was in the next few weeks, but I don't know here. They are saying here the US added 236,000 jobs in March, which is a smaller gain than the months prior. And that slowdown is still strong, but not overheated job market is what the central bank has been seeking. So they've been looking for a good balance between some job growth, but not crazy job growth or not like a super low unemployment rate. They want the unemployment rate to be a little higher so that people will not spend as much. That is what is expected to cool down inflation. The other thing that we have talked about on here is just because inflation is cooling down, that does not mean your prices are going down. The prices that we see now are most likely going to be the new normal. Hey, Solutionist Experience ladies, Victoria did a really great job on her session a couple of days ago with regards to the power of the pivot. So I definitely suggest you all go and check that out. I hope there are no more interest rate hikes. There probably will be. There will be more interest rate hikes. They got to get that inflation down to 2%. And they're not going to be able to do it without more interest rate hikes. So I wanted to see if they said in here when the next Fed meeting is, but I'm not seeing it. So I apologize, ladies. I don't know when the next Fed meeting is, but yeah, that's what they're doing over there. All right, the next thing. The de-dollarization has started, but the odds that China's yuan will take over are profoundly unlikely to essentially impossible. I never, ever, ever say that anything is impossible. Never, ever say that anything is impossible. But we will see what happens with regards to the de-dollarization. So many of you have been talking about the fact that there's this, this alliance now between what is it? Brazil, I think it is, Russia, India, and China in order to break away from the dollar. So people used to use the dollar as like the main currency with regards to it was actually tied to the petrodollar and all of that. And now these companies are feeling themselves geopolitically, basically, is what's happening. Everybody knows that America is on, I feel, even its last days of being the only superpower. China is rising up, Russia is testing itself, etc. So that's why I say that we look at everything, even geopolitics, because those things matter. Do I think that the United States will not be a superpower? Not in my lifetime, and I'm in my mid 40s. Some of you are younger because I have a younger audience here. But you got to be prepared for anything, ladies. You got to be prepared for anything. So let's read this here. De-dollarization has begun as recent trade deals elevate other currencies, but the dollar is likely to remain a top global currency. I believe that for the time being, the dollar will remain a top global currency. And the odds that China's yuan will replace the dollar are essentially impossible, according to this gentleman here. So, um, just something for you to be aware of. Uh, let's see here. Gas prices keep going down in RVA, but they are creeping back right back up. Sorry. That's what's happening in my area as well. The gas price will go down for a couple of days and then it'll go back up to the point where when I see gas prices go down, because I'll see them go down like even 10 cents a gallon one time. I saw it go down and I didn't stop and get gas right away. And then when I went back and got gas, it was literally, like ten cents higher. So I'm getting to a point now where When I see the gas prices go down like enough, I will just fill up my tank. So, D'Ambrosia is saying, I agree, becoming bossy is saying fact. Um, Victoria saying, BRICS is making waves. I wonder how this will play out. Only time will tell. Only time will tell because it's not just about the currency, it's about the power geopolitically. It's about the influence. Russia's starting to have more influence. China's starting to have more influence. That's part of the reason why they're in Africa. Africa and Latin America. So, speaking of China, I am thinking about learning Chinese again. Do you think that's a good language to learn? Absolutely. Learn that Mandarin, girl. Absolutely. What is BRICS? BRICS is I want to say it's Brazil, Russia, India, and China. It's an acronym. It's a group of countries that decided to, instead of everybody doing business with the US dollar like as their currency, they're starting to do business with the yuan or with other currencies in order to make those currencies stronger. Um, because people thus far have only done, well, like countries, when they want to buy a lot of goods and things like that, they've been doing it with the US dollar. So the US dollar in the United States has a lot of global power. And geopolitically, these countries now are trying to either rise again or get back into a powerful position. So, yeah, you got it. Does Euro fall in that category? No. I haven't heard anything about any European country doing, separating itself from the dollar. The S is for South Africa, I believe. You know what? Let's just look it up really quickly. Let's just look it up really quickly. BRICS. Let's see, BRICS nations here. It's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So it's saying the acronym began as a somewhat optimistic term to describe what were the world's fastest growing economies at the time. So BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are setting themselves up as are setting themselves up as an alternative to existing international finance and political forums. So, ladies, that is what's happening here. Thanks, Victoria, for saying that. So, the S is for South Africa. All righty then. We talked about the Fed. We talked about the de-dollarization. We want to look at that. Okay, the next thing is default risk. There's a lot of concern right now with regard to the economy and the credit crunch that's happening and defaults happening both on the personal side and on the business side. So this is, one area that I'm pulling defaults for. There's a lot more foreclosures that are going to be expected. There's a lot more vehicles that are going to be repossessed. And according to this, default risk is also growing within commercial real estate to the tune of $1.5 trillion. So they're saying here the risk of default in the commercial real estate market is growing as office and retail property valuations could drop by as much as 40%, while nearly 1.5 trillion in debt is due for repayment by the end of 2025. This is according to Morgan Stanley. The recent banking failures are complicating matters even further as small and regional banks who have traditionally extended lines of credit to the $20 trillion commercial real estate sector have seen large outflows due to the collapse of failed leaders, Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank of New York. Refinancing risks are front and center. So, what happened with a lot of these loans, most likely, is they got a loan for a certain period of time and they said, oh, no problem. Within 10 years, we'll refinance. Within 5 years, we'll refinance. Well, guess what? They're saying by 2025, the refinancing is coming up. And I work in the real estate I work with real estate investors with the real estate side of lending. And one of the concerns that they have as well is if they take a loan today and they have to refi in a year or two, if the rates go up, is that going to mess with their profitability with regards to the houses that they are building or renovating or things like that? So this is a very real concern, ladies, because if large banks are struggling with keeping their balance sheets together and making sure that they have enough money to lend out, small banks are going to suffer as well. So, overall, we're going to see what happens, but this is a risk concern. Everybody is concerned about the credit crunch. So, hey, Denise. All right, the next topic of the day. There's a little foolishness for you here. Economists study hemline lengths and men's underwear sales for clues uh, with regards to the recession. I have to admit, I was very curious, so I read the article beforehand. So, ladies, when the recession starts, do you think the hemline lengths go up or go down? Put it in the chat. It takes about 30 seconds for you all to hear me and then put stuff in the chat. So I'm going to wait for you. Do you think the hemline lengths during a recession go up or go down? I'm going to wait just a few more seconds for you all to respond because I want to see your answers before we read the article. Do they go up or do they go down? The hemline lengths. We got an up here, we got a down here. Selfish love is saying definitely up. I don't know what it means, but I'll say down. Hemline length just means your skirt length. Does your skirt length go up or does it go down during a recession? You're saying up. Well, let's read the article to see what the article says based on The Economist. It says here economists have tracked all sorts of buying behavior over the years that indicates the health of the economy. For example, one measure called the lipstick index says that people buy more little luxuries like lipstick when the economy is worse. And I've heard this before. You buy little things because you want to feel good about yourself and you don't have the money to buy big stuff, right? These measures aren't foolproof and some are even downright wacky, but they could be a fun way to gauge which direction the economy is headed. So, they talk about the lipstick index here. We're going to pass by this. The underwear index is mostly for the men, and basically, it is the theory states that when the economy worsens, men will stop buying new underwear since it's a garment most people will not see on a daily basis. So, if you want to know how that gentleman that you are thinking of dating, how his economy is going, check his underwear because that will give you a really good look at if he has any money or not. Um, then, when the economic outlook improves, they'll start replacing their boxers and briefs again. So, this is what this is saying. Hemline index, which you girls were waiting for. Developed in the 1920s, the hemline index asserts that skirts and dresses get shorter when the economy is doing well and longer during a downturn. I was surprised because when I first saw the headline, I was like, them hemlines are going up so she could catch somebody. But it turns out the exact opposite. According to this economist, is true. The hemlines go down. Maybe she's like, I don't have to do as much. I don't know. I think the hemlines still go up. What are you all saying here? Up, gotta get that money. That's what I was thinking. Y'all are saying up, up. I just think if men are broke, then the him is down. See, so you're right, Denise, because apparently, according to this economist, the him lines go down. So they don't really say why in the article, but hey, I'm wearing shorter skirts. I need that money. um, how we have grandma underwear, they will have grandpa underwear. Those legs are about to be out, out. Look, you better pull a man with some resources though. If yellow, if you said that it's down, then yes, that the hemlines go down. Yeah, you don't show as much. So anyway, I thought this was funny. I don't know if it's true, but yeah, that's what they're saying here. So you can tell how the economy is doing by the hemline lengths, ladies. All right. Next thing is, you know what? Coming back to something, when did OnlyFans become super, super popular? It became super popular during the COVID, right? During the lockdowns, because men had money because of the stimulus checks. So if men don't have money, if the economy is doing bad and men don't have money, then the hemlines go down. I don't know. Y'all can tell me what you think. Okay, next thing is US mortgage lenders lost money on home loans for the first time on record. So, um, the US housing market tightened so severely last year that mortgage lenders began taking losses on home loans they originated for the first time on record. Banks and mortgage lending firms lost an average of $301 on each home loan last year. Ladies, that means if the bank gave you a loan, they lost $301 on actually processing that loan. No, don't get it twisted. They made their money back plus some because the interest rates are higher, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, this is saying here, according to Mortgage Bankers Association, that when your loan was originated, the banks on average lost $301 on each home loan. Um, the loss was the first of its kind ever recorded since the MBA began tracking loan production income in 2008. So, yeah, um, you're saying here no money equals no paying for the corn, for the corn. So, look, yeah. Um, that is another article here with regards to that. So, let's look at the next thing. Elon, y'all know I don't do much of any content on Elon, but this is something I heard about a few months ago and I kind of tucked it away because I didn't verify it and, blah, blah, blah. And there are so many stories about Elon that I'm just like, oh, please stop, make it go away. But when I saw this article and this article creeped up in like a lot of different places, I said, okay, I got to put this on the list to talk with the ladies about. So, Elon Musk years ago said that he wanted to create something called the X Corp. Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that is. And remember, he bought Twitter, of course, and Twitter's been suffering very much financially, blah, 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 blah. Well, Elon is putting in this plan to turn Twitter into something called the X Corp. So, what is X? That's what they're calling the quote unquote everything app. So, let's read a little bit about what it is. And he actually hinted at his plans for X on Twitter a couple of days ago. Musk has discussed his plans for a WeChat like app on Twitter and in private text over the years. So he's been talking about this master plan that he has had for years. And people, when he bought Twitter, were kind of saying maybe he's going to bring in this whole X thing with Twitter, and that's where I heard the people talking about it. And now it appears that this is what he's trying to do. So here's everything we know about the billionaire's plans for X and Twitter. So since Elon bought Twitter last year, his master plan for creating a quote unquote everything app has begun to take shape. On Tuesday, the billionaire cryptically hinted at his plans when he tweeted X. While Musk did not elaborate on the tweet, it came after it was reportedly revealed Twitter had merged into a shell company called X Corp. On Tuesday, Bloomberg reported that Twitter had been absorbed into X Corp, citing a document from April 4th that was submitted as an exhibit in a lawsuit against Twitter and its co-founder Jack Dorsey. The publication reported that the billionaire had created a trio of holding companies in Delaware with a variation of the names X Holdings when he first offered to buy the company last year. It's unclear what the new shell company will mean for Twitter, though it hints at Musk's larger plan for the social media app. For the billionaire, Twitter represents the first step towards something he calls X, his vision for a new kind of social media platform that most in the US haven't experienced before. Skip through some of this. Musk has been talking about building X for months. In August, when a Twitter user asked him whether he had considered creating his own social platform, he replied X.com, a web domain he bought over 5 years ago. At Tesla's annual shareholder meeting that same month, Musk said he had a pretty grand vision for X as something that would be very useful to the world. I wish these people would get to the point. They must get paid by the word. My goodness. Musk hasn't fully clarified whether he plans to turn Twitter into X or use it to build an entirely new platform. I'm trying to get to the point. Okay, I think this is it here. Twitter wouldn't be the first app trying to do a bit of everything. In fact, Musk indicated in May that he might look for inspiration from Tencent's WeChat, a Chinese social media juggernaut that's one of the largest super apps in the world. WeChat acts as, this is a point, ladies, so pay attention to this. I was waiting. These people must get paid by the freaking word. Here it is. WeChat acts as an all-encompassing service that includes messaging and video chatting, video games, photo sharing, ride services, food delivery, banking, and shopping. Okay? So Elon has been talking for the past, it's been longer than 5 years, according to the sources that I had, about this whole thing with this X, right? And what he's looking to do is combine everything under one umbrella. The great thing about it will be convenience, right? I can go to one app and I can basically do all sorts of stuff with that one app. The bad part about it, in my opinion, is that means that Twitter and Elon will have basically all of my data. They will know everything I'm doing if I chose to use it, right? Data is the new currency. Data is the new gold. And he's taking Twitter, which is chugging along right now. He's got to pay these investors back. They're planning on different things that they're trying to do. But imagine if he could get a third of the United States onto this everything app. What would happen? So finally, Financially Basic is saying, "You glad you caught a live?" Well, I'm glad you are here as well. Basically, all of these apps in one. Absolutely. You're saying exactly, I'm not using that either. Yeah. So this is his grand plan. You can figure out if you want to use his everything app, but it's called X. You're saying they basically just went back to their regular scheduled income. OnlyFans will take a hit. It's possible. Yeah. So, ladies, that is what Elon is planning on. This whole everything app, we'll see what happens. If Amazon could build the everything store, Elon could build the everything app. So, hey Jessica, how you doing? All right. So, next thing, Bank of America clients have yanked $451 million from real estate stocks as commercial property becomes investors' newest worry. We talked about commercial property before, so um, Bank of America saw its clients pull $451 million from real estate stocks last week. So people are really bearish on real estate, especially commercial real estate right now. We just talked about that. It's the largest outflow since July 2021 as concerns about the commercial property market intensifies. Commercial real estate is facing headwinds from higher interest rates to tighter credit conditions. So we talked about this before. I should have put these two articles together. I apologize, but you all see the commercial property concerns. There are a lot of people talking about the fact that some businesses aren't requiring people to come back to work. Some businesses are requiring people to come back to work because, they've got commercial property and they want more productivity. Some cities are asking people to turn commercial property into affordable housing. So, but that's like a multi-year thing. There was another article I was going to bring up tonight, but I just don't have the time to bring it up, where we're going to actually do a whole session just on the housing crisis again, because there's new data that's coming out, but the United States is short, I think, millions of affordable housing units. So, um, listening and watching, probably missed everything. You didn't miss everything. We're kind of like halfway through, Jessica. Do you think it's safe to use Instagram since it collects so much data? I I won't say safe or unsafe. I will say don't put anything in there that you don't mind them having with regards to you. That's how kind of how I live. Unfortunately, social media is one of those things that most of us can't live without, especially if we're doing business. So, I just am very guarded with what I put on social media, but I definitely don't want any one social media platform knowing absolutely everything about me. That's kind of how I live. The next thing here, streaming service cancellations rose by 49% year over year. So, ladies, we're actually going to take a look at um, Yahoo Finance because they did a story about this today. And I got to throw on my headphones. Hold on. Of course, I don't have the right headphones here. Okay. Well, um, let's see here. So you all get the gist of it, because if I play without my headphones, then you all will hear the feedback, and I don't want you to do that. So don't worry about it. Just trust that streaming cancellations are down by 49%. And they said in their session that they had on Yahoo Finance that it is because, a lot of people thought they were only spending like $80 a month on streaming services and they were spending hundreds of dollars. So most of you have probably looked at your streaming service, especially with the economy going crazy like it is, and you've pared down to the bare essentials. My mother seems to be the only person that must have every freaking channel out there. I'm like, can we reduce this bill? But she's got to have every channel, because her oxygen is on a different plan than her whatever channel and whatever channel. I'm just like, I got a headache. So, D'Ambrosia saying, I hate to ask, but what is the difference between real estate and commercial real estate? Oh, so I refer to residential real estate versus commercial real estate. So people are making the distinction between residential real estate and commercial real estate. But don't worry about asking. I'm glad that you asked that. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear about that. All right, the next story is AI, ladies, is expected to be a $900 billion market. I'm not going to talk about the top 20 stocks. I just wanted you to see the $900 billion market that they are expecting AI to be. And they're expecting AI to grow to this amount by 2026. That means if you're not in the AI game, get your booty into the AI game, ladies. Artificial intelligence has gone mainstream after the debut of ChatGPT. Bank of America estimates that AI will be worth $900 billion globally by 2026, and we don't care about the stocks. I wanted to show you, however, I found this really cool chart of the day, Instagram, and they came up just a couple of days ago with this. Here's where the AI jobs are in the United States. So the deepest, darkest blue are where the most AI jobs are going to be. So, of course, plastered in there is California, Texas, Washington, Florida, Georgia, all my Atlanta people, Virginia, most likely are my contractors, my defense contractors and government contractors, New York, Connecticut, um, Illinois, Michigan. So that's where like a lot of the AI jobs are going to be. So, ladies, I suggest you get on the AI train. $900 billion industry is going to be created in the next few years. If you don't live in any of these states that's going to have the most AI jobs, that doesn't mean that you can't subcontract, you can't freelance, things like that, or that your company won't need you to know things about AI in order to make them more profitable or more efficient. So, ladies, definitely get on the AI train. Selfish Love is saying, girl, I have all the channels and I don't even watch TV. I'm cutting that mess off. Could you talk to my mother? Because I'm like, ugh. I do pay for my YouTube premium because I cannot stand YouTube commercials. But other than that, like, I mean, I have like stuff from my business that is subscription service, but I don't have any subscription. I mean, I go to the gym, I guess if you call that a subscription service, but they were talking about streaming services. No, the only thing that I have is YouTube. That's a streaming service. So, all right, the next story, Whole Foods is closing in San Francisco. They're closing their San Francisco's flagship store after 1 year in business, citing worker safety. Now, I haven't read this article, but I have heard a lot about the crime in San Francisco. So let's see if that's the problem there. Let's just take a look at this. Let's see if organized shoplifting and blame for this was in Oregon here. This is a hate ad. So we'll come back to that at some point. Okay. This is saying here an enormous Whole Foods in downtown San Francisco that opened just last year is temporarily closing. The company said concerns about worker safety forced it to shut down. Here we go. Incidents of theft in San Francisco have gained national attention, though crime has generally fallen over the past 6 years. The nearly 65,000 square foot location at Trinity Place in the city's mid market neighborhood shut its doors Monday to, quote, ensure the safety of its employees. Although Whole Foods did not share any additional information on the conditions that led to the store closing, the spokesperson added that it was a difficult decision to close the Trinity store for the time being. Affected employees will be transferred to nearby stores. Um, the store's website has also disappeared. Let's see here. The Whole Foods was one of the largest supermarkets in downtown San Francisco. The store sold 3,700 local products. So we didn't even talk about the local products. All of these farmers and these delivery drivers and everybody else who eats off of Whole Foods, like for their business, is going to get affected as well. It's not just the employees, which they're saying the employees are going to move to other locations. It's like this is an ecosystem. Whole Foods is an ecosystem. So, yeah, this is not good, ladies. They don't want to say what the problem is. I'm guessing the problem is crime. Property crimes in San Francisco have garnered national attention because of several attention grabbing videos of thieves in action. Though still well below 2017 levels, or people are not reporting the crimes anymore because it doesn't make a difference. The city saw a 23% increase in property crimes between 2020 and 2022, with spikes in burglary and theft headlining the surge. So, in recent months, national retailers have been complaining about thefts affecting locations. Chains took action by locking up everyday products such as deodorant and toothpaste and added extra security guards. However, a Walgreens executive recently admitted that the impact of the thefts may have been overblown. A San Francisco Cotopaxi store temporarily closed. Oh, come on. This thing moved on me. Hold on. Uh, the Cotopaxi store temporarily closed in October 2022, citing theft and employee safety. So somebody's lying here, ladies. Somebody's lying. Either theft is the issue and everybody needs to admit it, or it's not the issue. It's being overblown or it's not being overblown. If y'all leave these cities, you may want to start voting for a tough on crime person. In fact, I wanted to do a story. I may still bring it up, not tonight because we're running out of time, but the San Francisco mayor race. Most of you probably saw it, right? The San Francisco mayor race. The progressive candidate that wanted more programs won. And I saw that, but I got kind of curious. I said, well, I wonder by how much he won and, etc. So I ended up reading the article. Number one, the voter turnout was like 31%. That means that 69% of people did not vote in that election. Because remember in Chicago, you all may not remember, there are two candidates. The pro law and order candidate, who was a white guy, he was actually Hispanic, white Hispanic guy. And the black guy who is like pro programs, like, yeah, we know crime is a problem, but we need more programs, more programs, more programs. And I said to you that I was watching um, that race because I wanted to see what was going to happen in Chicago. Well, the pro programs man won, but he won 51% to 49%, which to me means to me it was close. I know most pollsters like 2% is not close for an election, but to me that was close, right? And you only had 31% voter turnout. So a shift is potentially going to be happening. There are companies saying that they're leaving Chicago because Chicago is a hot ass mess. So, selfish love is saying I'm never letting go of my YT premium. I will scrape and scrimp for that because I'm on YT too much and I hate the commercials. They're just too many of them. Too many of them. So, San Francisco is a wild place. It's because of the homeless and they don't arrest people who steal. Absolutely. You can only have so much lawlessness. Didn't that CEO just get killed in San Francisco? No, it was San Francisco, the Cash App founder. Yes, he did. I'm thinking it's real estate inclusive of homes, telecom, all kinds of real estate versus commercial real estate that companies lease. Yeah, it was a Cash App founder. Very sad. And if they find somebody, that person may be a sacrificial lamb. Let's just say that. Hey, Dark and Lovely. Been watching from the clouds, looking at that map, and the states mentioned have tech hubs and or acreage to build data centers. Very good point. i.e., AWS in Virginia. Something to check into. You are right. You're saying you're happy to be in Texas. You're keeping your YouTube premium. Yeah. So, all right, let's look at the next article. Only have a couple more here. We should be wrapping up pretty quickly. Parents are overextending themselves to help their adult children financially. A new survey found that 7 in 10 parents with adult children made financial sacrifices to help them. So they had some things here. 51% of respondents said they sacrificed their emergency savings, and 20% felt the sacrifice was significant. 49% of surveyed parents said they sacrificed their debt payoff goals, and 18% said they sacrificed significantly to help their adult children. 43% of parents said helping their adult children had a negative effect on their retirement savings, and 18% said the impact was significant. 55% of survey respondents also sacrificed reaching some other financial milestone. So imagine you're chugging along, right? You're doing your thing. You're trying to save for retirement. You got the adult kids, they're out of the house, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, they're like, Mom, Dad, I need help. And the help that they need is so significant that it messes up the parents' financial goals. Hopefully, there will be some reciprocity on the back end for these parents, or we may need to start doing multi generational living. Something's got to happen with this. So, do you think having another phone just for business is good for protecting my personal data? I don't know enough about that, but I would think so. I would think so. So some of the personal data that they're collecting is like where you're going. So you might want to turn off your geolocation stuff is one of the things I heard. We would need like a data expert to come and really talk about all the ways to protect yourself, but I would think so. OMG, my mom and dad do that with my older brother. Yeah, a lot of parents are. Hey, Mocha Mommy, saying hit the like button, everybody. Please hit the like button as you are coming in. Okay, let's talk about Kanye. Kanye West and his school reportedly being sued for unlawful education practices and racial discrimination. Ladies, how many times have we said as a community, as Black people, if Black people just own businesses, the racial issues wouldn't be happening. We need to own more businesses. Apparently not. If Kanye owned this school and he's being sued for racial discrimination, I believe by 2 Black women, we're going to read the article here, then it's not just enough for us to own businesses. So Kanye is reportedly being sued for allegedly following unlawful education practices. According to TMZ, Ye and his private Christian school are being sued by 2 Black women. I thought so. I thought I read it was 2 Black women that are suing him. The women allege that they were fired as teachers from the school for multiple reasons. This reportedly includes retaliation for being a whistleblower on alleged education, health, and safety violations. The women also believe that they were unfairly fired because of their race. So, number one, just because a Black person owns something doesn't mean you're not going to have racial issues in the workplace. I believe most of the students were Black here as well. So, Lord only knows what was happening over at Donda Academy. Uh, According to the women, they were hired full-time at Donda Academy earlier this year. They allege that they were the only Black teachers employed by the school. How are you going to have a school full of Black kids and Those be the only two Black teachers, and they were hired earlier this year. What a mess. During their time at the academy, the women allegedly noticed numerous violations. One violation cited was that the only lunch option for students was sushi every day. Also, students cannot bring outside food or drink into the school. The lawsuit reportedly obtained by the outlet shows that Kanye spends $10,000 on sushi per week. The teacher said that Kanye does not allow crossword puzzles or coloring sheets at the school and that classes could not be held on the second floor because Kanye is afraid of stairs. What was he there teaching? Like what does him have? I'm sorry. What does him being afraid? First of all, what? Oh Lord Jesus. No chairs allowed, no artwork on the walls. Well, that sounds like him in Kim's house. No jewelry, no forks, no utensils. Oh, gosh. Yeah, where did the kids sit? This is weird. Ye also doesn't allow students to use forks or utensils. The lawsuit also alleges Kanye doesn't allow any artwork on the walls of the school, and no one is allowed to wear jewelry for the simple fact that he, quote, did not like jewelry. Did he tell that to Kim? Did he tell Kim that he doesn't like jewelry? Let me shut up. I'm getting a headache reading this, but I'm invested, so we're going to read a little bit more. The teachers even accused Kanye of not allowing chairs. Make this a bit bigger so I can read it. This forces kids to sit on foam cushions or to stand. Meanwhile, teachers are allowed to stand or use a stool. The suit says that everyone at the academy must wear all Black clothing from head to toe. Additionally, Adidas and Nike clothing items were forbidden. It also claims the school doesn't have a janitor or a nurse and that there are no trash cans outside classrooms or the kitchen. The two teachers say student medications were stored in a closet with other expired medications left unsecured. Yeah, this is a hot ass mess here. Teachers claim there are no lesson plans or disciplinary protocols in place for bullying or violence. All right, I'm done with this article. It's saying here they are also suing Kanye and Don Academy for money, claiming their paychecks were often $2,700 short each pay period. Kanye's camp has yet to respond to TMZ. But he's the You're right. He's the genius. Yeah. That sounds like a nightmare. Um Mercury poisoning, not all kids can eat raw fish. And actually, it's not good for them to have the same thing every day. And I don't eat sushi myself. What didn't every parents Why didn't other parents pull their kids out of the school once they found out about these things? Probably because they felt that that school would give those children more access and a better education than if they had pulled their kids out. So I'm not going to fault the parents here. This is why it's important for you as women to have resources. This is why I say the man you choose to have children with is the most important financial decision you will make in your life. It will affect you and it will affect those kids. Because if you are a mom and you have a Y'all know how I feel. Like, I prefer you to have your children in marriage. But even if you don't have your kids in marriage, and even if, it's you and the father makes good money and you two are co-parenting and you're working together, you would not have your kid in this situation. So many of you who follow me are young women ages 25 to 34. So that's why every time I can, I impress that upon you, that it is the most important financial decision you will make is who you have kids with. Hearing his name triggers me. Oh, that's no problem. We're getting off the Kanye train right now. This is our final article, and I wanted to give you ladies a pick me up because the first lady of Wall Street was a Black woman. August 1974, she was on the cover. I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller so you all could see the full cover, the full effect of this beautiful Black woman here. She made history as a real estate magnate who established a profitable enterprise on Wall Street in 1979. She was dubbed the First Lady of Wall Street by Black Enterprise. She was respected for her audacity to succeed when it was rare for Black women to climb the corporate ladder. So, shout out to her. She just passed. We're going to read the rest of this article. It's just a super quick article. Ernesta Procope, I hope I'm saying her name right. We're going to call her Ernesta. Rising influence throughout corporate America came at a time when only a handful of Black women filled seats in boardrooms of the nation's largest companies. From board directorships with Avon Products and Chubb Insurance, she went on to set up a storefront insurance agency called E.G. Bowman Company in Brooklyn's uh, Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood and catapulted it into the mainstream of the American economy. She said, I never operated with a complex as a woman, as a Black woman, as a Black, but instead as a person in business. She said, as per Black Enterprise. We knew there were problems, but I could not let that be a deterrent to me. So she went from Bed-Stuy to Wall Street. This is her picture again. She was on BE's 100 list. She has numerous honorary doctorates from Howard University, Adelphi University, Marymount Manhattan College, and Morgan State University. She also has the A.G. Gaston Lifetime Achievement Award. At the encouragement of her late husband, Alban Bowman, who was a successful real estate broker, Brooklyn-born Procope received her broker's license so she could learn the business and also insure his properties. So, ladies, this was like a husband and wife thing. He went out and bought the real estate. She insured his properties. I love it. She would eventually launch a business dedicated to homeowner and auto insurance policies for those in Bedford-Stuy, Brooklyn neighborhood she called home. Procope saw an opportunity no one else did and expanded her focus on real estate rehabilitation and development. Ladies, listen to this. Listen to this, ladies. She would go on to renovate and sell about 500 brownstones in Brooklyn from 1955 to 1970. Imagine if she had held on to 500 brownstones, but that's another thing. Featured in Ebony as New York's Lady Builder, the first Negro woman to build homes in New York State, Procope's success proved to insurance companies that Bed-Stuy was full of stunning owner-occupied brownstones for financially stable middle-class families. When the real estate market fell victim to the recession, Procope was dedicated to convincing insurance companies to insure her customers. She served as the mastermind behind the idea of renting limos and ferry insurance executives and ferrying insurance executives from Manhattan to Brooklyn to put a spotlight on the valuable and insurable property in Bedford-Stuy. However, after the urban riots of the mid and late 1960s, insurance companies began, quote, redlining minority neighborhoods. So Procope decided to take matters up with then New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller. She proved effective in persuading Rockefeller to support legislation to enact the New York Fair Plan that guaranteed the availability of homeowners insurance in low income neighborhoods. As a result, 26 other states passed similar legislation. This is why I'm always telling you, ladies, that politics is important. So within this channel, this is why we talk about politics. Because this woman went up here, she met with the governor, Rockefeller at the time, and she made ish happen. So shout out to her. In response to the beginning of affirmative action, Procope secured her firm's first major commercial customer in the Bedford-Stuy Restoration Corporation, a community development program started by Robert F. Kennedy. One of the firm's first big business clients included Pepsi. Procope blazed a new trail for the legacy of Black entrepreneurship while paving new paths for cost-focused liability coverage. So she was a pioneer, ladies. She was definitely a pioneer. Among her many accolades, Procope was featured in the August 1974 cover of Black Enterprise, um, the history-making issue dedicated to celebrating African American female executives. She was also a recipient of the Black Enterprise Woman of Power Legacy Award in 2006 in honor of her work helping women thrive in business. She died in her home in Queens at the age of 98. So, ladies, we want to definitely shout out this amazing, amazing woman. Um, you know, if it weren't for her, there are a lot of us who would not be able to get homeowners insurance because of where we live. So she is a pioneer. So, um, Dark and Lovely saying this woman is a business case study for Black women. She absolutely is, which is why I wanted to read the entire article there. Definitely major, major respect for her, the legacy that she left. And, I hope that you learned something with regards to tonight's session. We talked a lot. I'm actually going to, y'all know it's like close to my bedtime now, so I can get up and get to the gym tomorrow. But I'm glad that you liked it as well. Yes, hand claps. And don't forget on Sunday, we are going to host our first closed meeting for anybody who's on my email list. So it's bwmakingmoney.com. There's some copyright sensitive information that I can't put on YouTube. So instead, you all, if you are on my email list, you all are invited to come hang out with me. It is a rich girl summer. That is our theme. It is a rich girl summer. So we are going to be doing all things rich girl this, from now until Labor Day, right? Yeah, Labor Day is in September. So it's bwmakingmoney.com, bwmakingmoney.com. Shar is in the building. Thank you so much. Natasha is in the building as well. You got the email. So excited. Yeah, this is going to be our first one. Looking forward to the Sunday meeting. Yes, yes, absolutely. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about the psychology behind our best and worst financial decisions. Money is psychology, like a psychological thing, but also I only watched the first 5 minutes of the documentary and I thought it was really good. But the really great thing is It also has business lessons in there for you as well. As you all are starting your businesses, growing them, trying to convince people to hire you versus other people, there are going to be some great lessons in there. So it's all about, they call it behavioral economics. And companies pay like business psychology people a lot of money to come in and like do that as a field of work. So I found a really great documentary, and that is what we're going to talk about on Sunday. All right, ladies, I hope you enjoyed tonight. Again, don't forget to thumbs up on your way out. I'll see y'all later. Bye.